Hello, fellow cyborgs, and welcome to part 2 of my massive birthday book haul. Today I'm going to be talking about the plays and poetry collections that I received from family members, and I'm just going to get started. This first here is selected poems by D.H. Lawrence, and this was a surprise from my dad. He's just full of surprises these days, and the reason why he picked this from me is that in the movie G.I. Jane with Demi Moore and Viggo Mortensen, I don't know if you've seen that, there's this poem that Viggo Mortensen's character, who's like a drill sergeant, says to the Navy SEAL recruits, of whom Demi Moore's character is a part of that group. And the poem that he says is in this collection. It's called Self-Pity, and so my dad marked it for me, and it says, "I never saw a wild thing sorry for itself. A small bird will drop frozen dead from a bough without ever having felt sorry for itself." It looks like a lot of the other poems in this collection are also very small, which you guys may know. Small poetry, short form poetry is some of my favorite kind of poetry to read, so I am very, very much looking forward to picking through the rest of this volume, and I was really impressed with my dad and his thoughtfulness of how to choose a book of poetry for me. The next volume I want to talk to you about is a play, and it is Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead by Tom Stoppard. This is a retake on the Shakespearean play Hamlet, as told from a worm's eye view of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, and it's supposed to be like a Shakespearean Laurel and Hardy. Hamlet is my favorite Shakespeare play, and so far favorite play, and anything that has to do with Hamlet, I'm immediately intrigued, if perhaps a little wary, because don't you dare make fun of my emo baby Hamlet. I've not read any Tom Stoppard, but he's a very well-known playwright from what I can tell, just for Rosencrantz and Guildenstern alone almost, and I'm very eager to see how I get on with his work. I have a second Tom Stoppard play to talk to you about, and that is Arcadia. I heard about this over from Clara from Books in Question. She did a video about why to read plays and where to start with plays, and I put all of those 5 plays she talked about on my wish list, so I will link that video down below. This is kind of hard to explain. It's a play that goes backward and forward in time and centers on like one room of the house as the lens in which to view backward and forward in time, and it's between the 19th and 20th centuries, but it also talks about a lot of things like the difference between classical and romantic temperaments, about art, about mysteries of the romantic, scientific, or literary nature. It's a comedy, but it's dreamlike, and it does so many different things, and it explores so many different things, so I just have really no clue about this, but I am ever so intrigued, obviously, and I hope that I will get on with Tom Stoppard as I have 2 of his works to give a go. Next is a literature-themed poetry collection. I've got The Jane and Bertha in Me by Rita Maria Martinez. This is a book of poetry inspired by Jane Eyre, and so you've got different poems called, for instance, Reading Jane Eyre 2, Postmortem Lament for Charlotte, Cross-Dressing, Jane Eyre in the Jungle Room. As you may know from my book review extravaganza week, Jane Eyre is my favorite classic novel and one of my favorite books of all time, so I'm very eager to see how this book of poetry, I just can't talk today, guys, how this book of poetry plays around with the different themes within Jane Eyre and with the characters of Jane Eyre. I think this is also a little bit of autobiographical poetry as well, and how Jane Eyre and the characters in Jane Eyre intersect with Martinez's life. So we'll just have to see. And the final play that I received from family members is A Doll's House by Henrik Ibsen. I theoretically read this in junior year of high school, but you may know that I was notorious for not actually reading the books assigned to me in high school. A Doll's House is about the hypocrisy of Victorian middle-class homes. I don't remember anything about it except for not liking it, but when I've been, Googling and looking on Goodreads for play recommendation, Ibsen, his name just keeps coming up and keeps coming up, so I definitely want to give this another try and a more educated try, and apparently it is so well known that my copy has nothing on the back. It's just like, you know what you're doing with this in your hands, so just go for it. So these are the 2 poetry collections and 3 plays that I'm going to be talking about in this part of the book haul series. However, there are some more that are probably going to be sneaking in later installments. As always, let me know if you've read any of these, if you have any opinions on any of these, or if you're intimidated by any of these, because I know there's a couple classic plays that maybe people are like, I don't know. We'll just have to see, that's for sure. Thank you for watching. Please let me know in the comments down below if you acquired any plays or poetry recently? And if not, do you have an all-time favorite play, poem, or poetry collection? Just chat with me in the comments as always. I always love hearing what you have to say. Thank you for watching. I think I might have said that already, but in any case, until next time, please continue to be lovely. You are a magical unicorn of reading. All right, that was weird. The next volume I want to talk about is a play, and it is Rosencrantz and Guildenstern? No, that's not it. Rosencrantz and